Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Tali Beaudean Show. We talk Saxony Lutheran Softball here. Vince Brown on the line with Saxony Lutheran Lady Crusaders coach Tali Beaudean. How you doing, Coach?
Doing just fine, thanks.
Not such a good end to the season in the first round of the district playoffs, although this week had a pretty good start to it. You finally got your first win in 2 years, albeit a mercy rule win over Donovan in 5 innings, 18-8, and it was on Senior Day.
Definitely was a good start to the week, with that win. Couldn't have asked for it to be on a better day. Would like to have had, not our first win on that day, but earlier in the season. But, that's what happened. And thought maybe we'd have a little bit momentum going into Tuesday and Wednesday's game, but I think that momentum kind of fell out in Tuesday's game against Naylor. Was a 3-inning ball game down there, and then that took us kind of into districts, and we finished district play against St. Pius on Wednesday. First 2 innings weren't very superb, but I will say that the girls, decided to step up, and they played 2 good innings last, the 3rd and the 4th inning, then before it was all said and done. But didn't pan out the way that we had wanted it to, all season long or anything. But it's what happened, so it's reality.
Well, but going back to the game on this past Tuesday, the Senior Day game against Donovan, you got probably one of your biggest innings of output all year, a 6-run first inning. You picked up your first inning lead of the year. A lot of firsts happened in that game as well too. You not only the first win of the year, first mercy rule of the win of in the last couple of years, and a lot of ladies were able to contribute at least one batted in.
Yeah, definitely shared all the way down the line, and that was the only game that we did. Hopefully, the girls saw that what we've been stressing all year is that everybody has to play a part in the game, so that we can play our best, and hopefully our best is going to lead us to a victory. But you've got to have all 9 players on the field, and even your bench players. They've all got to be in the game. They've all got a role. That game against Donovan, everybody did their role, and they did it to the best of their ability, I thought.
When we come back after this short timeout, we'll talk about this year's Lady Crusader MVP and what she means to the scope of this year's Lady Crusaders Club. Come on back. This is the Tali Beaudean Show on Prepcast Southeast. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on the Tali Beaudean Show talking Saxony Lutheran Lady Crusaders Softball. Final one of the year, as the ladies have been indeed knocked out of the district tournament. We're talking with Coach Tali Beaudean of Saxony Lutheran. And Coach, as we come into this final segment of the year with you, talk about your team MVP and what she has meant to this program despite the season-long swoon.
Well, I think this year, looking at all aspects of the game, I would probably go with Sydney Rapp as my team MVP. Not only has that girl stepped up to a position that she wasn't quite sure was for her, she's a natural third baseman in terms of mentality, and but she decided last year, with losing a senior pitcher, that her team was going to need somebody to step up and pitch, and she took that role. Not only just decided to do that, but decided to take lessons and continually work on her game, even in the off season, which required a lot of dedication. She had a much better year over at the plate, hitting much better this year. I don't have any stats on me at the moment, but I guarantee you her batting average is, probably 2 times better than it was last year. She's just improved that much also. And she gives the team a fire. And, if Sydney's not firing, if Sydney's not smiling, then we made her smile. She definitely is a light for the team. And, when we talk about this year and how it went, it didn't go as planned, but this girl is our wave of the future and something that we can work around and build a team with her and her class of sophomores.
And as we saw the season progress, we saw her on our opening broadcast against St. Genevieve really taking on the chin in a 3-inning effort, and then to see her finally on the home finale pitch a pretty decent ball game and hold Donovan to 8 runs. The improvement definitely showed in the circle.
Definitely, that girl has pushed through a lot. She's grown a lot as a player. Just having to deal with different attitudes and learning to work with her teammates that are behind her. She touches the ball on every play to where fielders don't, and she takes a little bit more responsibility from the mound, and so that kind of played a part in having to learn new things, for this year from the mound. And definitely you could see the improvement. And if anybody watched her from that first game to the end of the season, you could tell that her accuracy had improved. She did change a little bit in her pitching style, and I think it was all for the better.
Do you think with the final home win of the year, finally getting a win for the first time in 2 years, you think now that sparks a little bit in the returning underclassmen next season to try and be a little bit more dedicated and get a few more wins toward the start of the season in 2011?
I do. And really they've kind of voiced their opinion too about getting together more often in the off season, and potentially getting the team together and playing this summer, and not just be on individual teams, but as a team together. And just their will to do it. They know that they can win, and definitely in Sydney, she had a taste of that victory, and she knows that that's what it's all about. And hopefully she's going to share that with the other underclassmen who, are noticing that they like that feeling.
And that does it for this season of the Tali Beaudean Show. Our very special thank you to Coach Tali Beaudean of the Saxony Lutheran Lady Crusaders. Granted, it didn't end the way she wanted to, but getting a win on senior day was just as satisfying. Coach, we appreciate you taking the time out with us this season and hope for better things next fall.
Thank you. Thanks for having me this season and following our team for us.
Folks, this has been the Tali Beaudean Show. I'm Vince Brown. We'll catch you next time on the Diamond right here on Prepcast Southeast. Till next season, take care, everybody.